All right, this is just for the people up here. I'm mighty.
La Yashala.
We're going to blow the horn again. Oh, you did it? All right. Need you to call this.
What number?
We're on number 21. At least you can sit for everybody.
This goes for everybody. Wapenya Hakwadam. Amadium. Amadium Wapenya Hakwadam. Amadium Wapenya Hakwadam, which means rise and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in the Hebrew. Abanaw.
Abanaw.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malak Wafka.
Malak Wafka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Ratazayaka.
Ratazayaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Ba'arataza.
Ba'arataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashamayim.
Bashamayim.
Letan Lanaw.
Letan Lanaw.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kol.
Kol.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak Nawa.
Wasalak Nawa.
Kawa. Kawa. Kabawak Nawa.
Kabawak Nawa.
Kasalak Nawa.
Kasalak Nawa.
Kabawak Yanawa.
Kabawak Yanawa.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Tabaya'ayanawa.
Tabaya'ayanawa.
Banasayawan.
Banasayawan.
Abol.
Abol.
Hawashayanawa.
Hawashayanawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwa.
Hamalakwa.
Waha'ala.
Waha'ala.
Wahata Pa'arak.
Wahata Pa'arak.
La Awalamyam.
La Awalamyam.
Aman.
Aman, in the English, our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
Lead us not.
Into temptation.
To temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us.
From evil.
From evil.
From thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. And this is Hakat, the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shah.
Baba Kushah.
Baba Kushah.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Hakat.
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 Lar Pa'ah.
Lar Pa'ah.
Kol Marakal.
Kol Marakal.
Wakol Marawa.
Wakol Marawa.
Hakat.
Hatat.
La Tahar.
La Tahar.
Hamatazarayim.
Hamatazarayim.
Hakat.
Hakat.
La Hakwiyam.
La Hakwiyam.
Hamakyam.
Hamakyam.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Al Rakawath.
Al Rakawath.
Hatama'ala.
Hatama'ala.
Lagarashan.
Lagarashan.
By Hashem, Yahushua, the water Aman.
And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. And this is bless Israel, Yahweh. By Hashem. Yahushua. Barak Lanawa. Wa Yashara Allah. Waha ba Yah. Saparian. Barak. By Hashem. Yahushua. The water Aman.
And in the English,
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us. And Israel. And the school.
And the school.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Come. And this is Psalms 121. Aisha. Ayanya. Al. Haharian. Ma'ayan. Yaba'a. Azarian. Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Aisha. Shamya. Wa'arataza. Ayatan. Lamawat. Ragolka. Al Yanawam. Shamarka. Hana. La'a. Yanawam. Wallah. Yayashan. Shawamar. Yashara Allah. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazalka. Al-Yad. Yamyanka. Yawamam. Hashamash. La'a. Yakaka. Wayarak. Balaya'ah. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Makol Yashamar. Afnapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza'afka. Wabawa'aka. Ma'ai. Wa'ai. Awalam. Aman.
And in the English, I will lift up my eyes to the hill.
I will lift up my eyes into the hill.
From whence cometh my help?
My help
cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
Which made heaven and earth.
He
will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber. Behold.
He that keepeth Israel. Should neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy
shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. Even forevermore. So be it.
Come.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Adamayalaka. Althakarash. Althashakwat. Al. Kayahana. Awayabyaka. Yahamayawan. Umashanayaka. Nashawa. Ra'ash. Al-Imaka. Ya'awayamwa. Sawa. Wayataya Tazawa. Atazapawanyaka. Amara. Lakawa. Wanakakia. Magoya.
Magoya.
Walla'ah. Yissachar. Sham Yasha'ah. Aiwa. Kaya. Nawa I Tazawa. La. Lakhadwa. Al Yakah. Baryah. Yakarathwa. Ahoya. Alawam. Shamai Alawam. Moa'aba. Wahagaria. Gabal. Wa'amawan. Wa'amalak. Halasha. Amyashabya. Tazawar. Gum Ashawar. Nalawa. Amam. Hayawa. Zabawa. Labanya. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamagan. Kasayasara'ah. Kayabyam. Benakol. Koyashwan. Nishamadwa. Ba'ayanda Arab. Hayawan. Daman. La'adama. Shayatamwa. Nadalyabnwa. Ka'ira. Wakaza'aba. Wakazazomana. Konasaya Kamwa. Ashar. Amarwa. Nayirashad. Lanawa. Na'awa. Alahayim. Shayatamwa. Kagogola. Kakwash. Lapanya Raka. Ka'ash. The Ba'ira Ya'ira. Wakala'aba. Kalahat. Haryam. Khan. The Radatma. Basa'iraka. Wapa Wasapaka. Dabalaham. Mala'ah. Panyaham. Kwalawan. Wayabakwashwa. Shamka. Yahawa. Yabashwa. Wayabahowa. Ayai. Wayakaparwa. Wayabadwa. Wayadaiwa. Kaya. Atha. Shamka. Yahawa. Labaka. Ayawan. Akal. Ha'arataza. Aman.
And then the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. And consulted. Against thy hidden ones. They have said. Come. And let us cut them off. From being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together. With one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They become as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red. And like Zeeb. Yea. All the princes of Zabah. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let's take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth a wood. And as the flame setteth the mountain on fire. So persecute them with thine tempest. And make them afraid with thine storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. These are the blessings. Barak. Atha. Yahweh. Where Yahweh Shah. Where Yamaka Allah. Alahayim. What Tazabadya. Alawak. Yahana. Ha-alawakyam.
Ha-alawakyam.
Hasaranyam. Hasaranyam.
Hasaranyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakayanyam.
Hakayayoyam.
Waha-akwakyan.
Waha-akwakyan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Wada.
Aman. Aman. In the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh.
And Yahweh.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commander General Yohanan.
Commander General Yohanan.
General. The captain. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So big.
So big.
These are the curses. Blessed you, Yahweh.
Blessed you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
Teachers.
The princes.
Princes.
The priests.
Priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To
the heathen.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter to thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments are our enemies.
All the governments are our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Christianity. Egyptology. Militia.
Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation.
Skinhead.
Posse Comitatus. The gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spy. Workers of witchcraft. NASA Space Program. Army. Navy. Air Force.
Marine.
Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airways. The cable access channel. And the radio channel. Convict the spirit. Of any of thy people. To seek to stop us. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathen. That stand in the way. Or try to stop us. From broadcasting your words. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth. And consume them. Let the plague. Take the house of the thief. And the murder. Let Yahweh. Michael and Gabriel. Come down with the flying saucer. And punish all the heathen. That come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause to be known. By all. That is the angels. That have done it. Cause to be spread. Through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you always. So big. Sar, which means turn. You shop him. All right. Shalom. The Baltimore Sabbath Service. We're in July 6th. So all the ISBK Sabbath Service around the world were on the same page. So all of us we started in the book of Genesis. So we are in the book of Genesis, chapter 4. And we're going to read, of course, in the Hebrew and English. But let's do a little recap, because, I like to do some recap. Genesis 4, we have the story. We don't have to go all the way back to the beginning, but we'll recap what's happening so far in Genesis 4. We're on Genesis 4:19, but can somebody tell me, Genesis 4, you had two sons that were born from Eve. Their name, please? Cain and Abel. Okay. Somebody tell me, what was going on with Cain and Abel? What was their story? Okay, well, there were two sons. They were both bringing their gifts to the Most High. Right. And which one was that? Who was the one that the Most High accepted his sacrifice? He accepted Abel's sacrifice because Abel brought the best of his flocks. And the Most High required blood. And Cain did not. So he respected Abel's sacrifice, and he did not respect Cain's. And Cain and Abel, we'll talk about, but Abel was known to be righteous. Okay, he was righteous. A precept really quick is, let's look at a precept real quick. Let's look at Matthew 23:35. I'm just going to look at a precept. Matthew 23 and 35. We're just going to, just get some background. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Keep there. Go to Genesis 4 and then 4 through 5. Let's start there.
All right, Genesis 4.
4 through 5 in the English.
I'm there. Genesis chapter 4, verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respected unto Abel and to his offering.
Okay, he respected Abel's offering. Go ahead, verse 5.
Verse 5. But unto Cain and his offering he had not respect.
Okay, he had no respect. And what happened? Keep reading. What happened with Cain? And Cain what?
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Now the reason I'm pointing this out is because in Genesis 3, verse 15, remember that the Most High told they told the woman that there would be enmity between her seed, he said the enmity between the two seeds, the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. And you already started to see the enmity between Cain and Abel. The Most High referred to Cain. Let's go to Matthew 23:35. We're just giving you background before. I want to give us context, okay? So that we can understand the story when we read it today, okay? So you can understand why the Bible goes into talking about these bloodlines, okay? Now the Most High told the woman in Genesis 3:15 there'll be enmity between the two seeds, okay? The seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman, okay? And we're going to see that the woman's seed was more pretty much the seed of where more of the righteous were coming from. And then you have the seed of the serpent. Genesis 23, verse 35. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 23. Matthew chapter 23, verse 35. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth. From the blood of righteous Abel.
Abel. So what does that mean? That means when it calls Abel righteous, that means Abel was obedient. And that's why the Most High accepted his sacrifice, because he was obedient. He did what the Most High said to do. Cain's he did not respect because Cain was not obedient. He did not do what the Most High said to do. The Most High was very particular about how you were supposed to bring something before him, and Cain did not do that. All right? And Cain was bringing the first of his flocks. Okay? He was bringing the best. Go to Hebrews 11:4 for me. All right? This is the All right? We're just going over why, and we're just making a distinction. All right? Just talking about the two seeds. Because today we're going to talk about why the Most High makes a distinction between Cain's line and the line that comes from, well, it was supposed to come from Abel, but it didn't. It came through Seth. And we'll read about that today. Right. All right, we got that?
Come.
Go ahead. Hebrews 11, verse 4.
Hebrews 11, verse 4.
Okay.
By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain.
He brought a more excellent sacrifice. That means he was obedient. Okay, and that's why there is enmity. There became enmity between the brothers. Now, this foreshadows which other two brothers? Esau and Jacob. Because Esau, just like Cain hated Abel, Esau hated who? He hated Jacob. And he hated Jacob because you know, it was already told to, what was it? I can't remember. Was it Rachel or Rebecca?
It was already,
Rachel. Was it Rachel? I believe it's Rachel.
Okay.
Rachel. Was it Rebecca? I can't remember. I always get them mixed up. But it was told to one of them, it was Rebecca. It was Rebecca. Told to Rebecca that, you know, pretty much that if the blessings would go to, she already knew it was going to go to Jacob. And when the blessings went to Jacob, Esau hated him. Okay? So you got to think of this, it's the same type of spirit. The enmity between the two seeds. Because what did the Most High say when Jacob and Esau were in the two wombs? He said, two seeds are in your womb. Two different nations. It's the same principle here. Okay? And a precept to this, I'm just going over these quick precepts so we can understand context. Okay? Let's go to John 8:44. Just want to get context of, in the New Testament, John 8, John 8 verse 44 Romans. It's like right before Acts. Okay? Just giving you context of what's going on in this chapter. All right? This is Yahushua. He's talking to the Pharisees. Okay? Now the Pharisees, what did they think? They thought they were the seed of who? They thought they were of the seed of Abraham. Okay? They thought that's what they were thinking. You know, and that's why they felt like because of their, you know, just because of their bloodline, they were going to get into the kingdom. But they should have known they obviously weren't remembering their history books because Most High put them out when they were disobedient. But let's see what Yahushua says to the Pharisees. What does he say to them?
First John chapter 8, verse 44.
Go ahead.
Ye are of your father, the devil.
He's pretty much saying you are of your father. Remember, in the garden, he's talking to the serpent and the woman. He said, you know, be enmity between the seeds. Go ahead. And the Pharisees had enmity towards who? Yahushua. Okay? It's going all through there. Go ahead.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
Okay. Keep going.
And was a murderer from the beginning.
He was a murderer from the beginning. Who's he talking about? Talking about Cain. He's like he was a murderer from the beginning. Okay? And what else?
And abode not in the truth.
Abode not in the truth. Cain was taught the truth. He didn't stay in it. Okay? He didn't stay in the truth. He wanted to do his own thing. Okay? So it's like, you know, same attitude with Esau. It says he despised the birthright. He despised it. Okay? Let's just look at one more. Go to 1 John 3:12. That's in that one. All right, let's go. 1 John 3:12. I'm just giving context, so when we read these scriptures today, you'll understand why there's talking about two lines. Right? 1 John 3:12. Right?
What is it, 1 John? What?
1 John 3. It's like right. It's like a couple books of things. All right. Shalom.
First John.
1
John 3 and 4.
3 and 12.
Slotty. 3 and 12.
Come.
Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one.
So it says Cain was of the wicked one. Okay? So I wanted to give us context of what we're reading today. Now, after Cain killed Abel, he was put out, and then he took a wife. And that's where we are today. We're looking at Cain's line. Okay? But this line is being distinguished from another line, which we'll look at. All right? All right, just want to give context. So now let's look at Genesis 4, and we're going to be 19 through 25. We're going to read in the Hebrew first. Genesis 4, verse 19. In the Hebrew, Wayah, Quak, Lawa, Lama, Shakya, Nashiam, Sham, Kaf, Ida, Shalom, sisters. Washam, Hanashia, Tazallah, verse 20. With a lad, Ida, Yabal, Haya, Abaya, Yashab, Ahal, Wamakwana, verse 21. Slack, I'm going to 25. Verse 21. Washam, Akyawa, Yawabal, Hawa'a, Haya, Abaya, Kal, Sapash, Kanawar, Wagam, verse 22. Watazala, Dam, Hawa'a, Yaladam, Thawabal, Payan, Latash, Kal, Harash, Nakashaf, Wabawatazal, Wa'akawaf, Wathabal, Koyan, Na'aima, verse 23, Waya Amar, Lamak, Lanashyawa, Aida, Watazala, Shamayin, Kwawalia, Nashya, Lamak, Zana, Amarathya, Kaya, Ayash, Paragathya, Labatazaiya, Wayalad, Laka Barathya, verse 24, Kaya, Shaba'aithyam, Yaquam, Kwayan, Walamak, Shaba'aithyam, Washaba'aipa, verse 25, Wayadai, Adam, Iwad, Ashakwa, Wathalad, Bun, Wathakora, Shamwa, Shah, Kaya, Shah, Laya, Alahayim, Zarai, Akhar, Thakaf, Habal, Kaya, Haragwa, Koyan, and that's it. All right, so now we're looking at Cain's descendants, who the descendants we know are like more of like the seed of the serpent, because we're making a distinction. All right, we're in Genesis 4, 19 to 25 in the in the English.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 19. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives.
Now Lamech is, I think, the grandson or great-grandson of Cain. Keep going.
The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zalai. Verse 20. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. Verse 21. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. Verse 22. And Zalai, she also bare Tubal Cain. Tubal Cain. Is that what it is?
Tubal Cain.
An instructor of every artificer and brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. Verse 23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zallah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. Verse 24. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth.
So we just saw the line of Cain. Now it's switching over to another line, okay? Because now it's going to say, it said Adam knew his wife and she bare a son. Okay, and what was his name?
Seth.
Go ahead.
For God for God, she said she, have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
So he appointed me another seed. And we're going to notice that it's going to be through Seth's seed that we're going to have where the line is coming from. So you have the line of Cain, and you have the line of Seth now. It's making a distinction between these 2 seeds. Now, here's the big $1 million question. The Most High made a distinction between the 2 seeds. What did he not want the 2 seeds to do? Mingle. Okay? And we're going to see a problem with this later. Okay? That's why I said context. That's why it's making a distinction. He did not want these 2 seeds and these 2 bloodlines to mix. All right? Excellent work, bro. All right? So now we're going to read Genesis 4, 26, and then we're going to read chapter 5, 1 through 6. Genesis 4, verse 26 in the Hebrew. Walashah, Gum, Hawa'ah, Yalad, Bun, Wayakora, Ab, Shamwa, Anawash, Az, Hawa, Chol, Lakora, Basham, Yahweh. Genesis chapter 5, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Zah, Sapar, Fawaladah, Adam, Bayawam, Bara, Alahayim, Adam, Bara Mawath, Alahayim, Aisha, Afwa, verse 2. Zakar, Wanakorba, Bara'am, Waya Barak, Atham, Waya Korah, Ah, Shamam, Adam, Bayawam, Habara'am, verse 3. Wayahya, Adam, Shalashiam, Wa'amat, Wama'af, Shana, Waya Walad, Badamawafya, Kazal Lamwa, Wayakora, Ah, Shamwa, Shah, verse 4. Wayahayawa, Yumya, Adam, Akarya, Hawala Yadwa, Ah, Shah, Shamana, Shamna, Slaki, Ma'ah, Shana, Waya Walad, Bunyam, Waba Lawaf, verse 5. Waya Hayawa, Kal, Yumya, Adam, Ashar, Chaya, Tashad, Ma'awaf, Shana, Washalashiam, Shana, Wayamath, and that's it. Oh, Salakia, that's not it. I missed one. I'm going to 6. Salakia. Verse 6. Wayahya, Shah, Kamash, Shunyam, Wama'af, Shana, Waya Walad, Af, Anawash. And that's it. All right. All right, now we're going to be reading Genesis 4:26. Then we're going to jump over to chapter 5, 1 through 6.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 26. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord.
And why are men calling on the name of Most High? Because Seth was righteous. He was teaching them. But his descendants were calling on. It's talking about his descendants. Okay? Keep going.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of Genesis of Adam. Salati. This is the book of the generations of Adam. And the day that God created man. In the likeness of God he made him. Verse 2. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. Verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years, and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. Verse 4. And the days of Adam after he had begot Seth were 800 years. And he begot sons and daughters. Verse 5. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Verse 6. And Seth lived 105 years, and begot Enos.
Okay. Now, it doesn't name all of Adam's sons and daughters. Could be a few reasons why they're not naming them all. One of the reasons is a lot of times we got to think, biblically, when they're naming father to son, they usually name the son that would receive the inheritance, or that the inheritance was passed down to, or the one that was going to, take the name of the family. Okay, like you got to think, Abraham had many sons and daughters, but what does the Most High say to Abraham? Take your son, your only son, because he was the son of promise. Okay, so you got to think about that. Okay. You got to think of a lot of the people that had sons and daughters, but, it was usually one son that was either given the inheritance or stuff was passed on to, And that's the son that was usually named, that received the rights, the entitlements, inheritance. You got to think about, like, if you have, like, many sons, you each all that one son. And this is what they did anciently, too. You know, like, usually it would be the firstborn, but sometimes the firstborn didn't receive it. Okay? Think like Reuben fell from that, and Judah received it. Okay? So you got to think about that. So it's not naming every son. It's naming the son that probably received an inheritance, or it was passed down to, or the one that showed that he was worthy, righteous. I'm just, you know, could be a number of reasons why they're just naming that one son. All right, did we finish?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's go. We're in Genesis chapter 5 now. Now we're going to read 7 through 13 in the Hebrew. 7 through 13. Genesis chapter 5, verse 7. Wayakya, Shah, Akarya, Hawala, Yadwa, Ah, Anawash, Shabai, Shunyam, Washa, Mana, Ma'awaf, Shana, Waya, Walad, Bunyam, Waba, Nawaf, verse 8. Waya Hayawa, Call, Yumya, Shah, Shakyam, Aishara, Shana, Wafa Shai, Wa'awaf, Shana, Waya Maf, verse 9. Wayakya, Anawash, the Shayim, Shana, Waya Walad, Koyanum, verse 10. Wayakya, Anawash, Akarya, Hawala Yadwa, Koyanan, Kamash, Aishara, Shana, Washabana, Ma'awaf, Shana, Waya Walad, Bunyam, Wabanawaf, verse 11. Waya Hayawa, Call, Yumya, Anawash, Kamash, Shunyam, Wafa Shai, Ma'awaf, Shana, Waya Maf, verse 12. Wayakya, Koyanan, Shabayam, Shana, Waya Walad, verse, Af, Mahalal Allah, verse 13. Wayakya, Koyanan, Akarya, Hawalayadwa, Af, Mahalal Allah, Arabayam, Shana, Washamana, Ma'awaf, Shana, Waya Walad, Bunyam, Wabanawaf. And that's it. Okay, now we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 5, and we're reading 7 through 13 in the English.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 7. And Seth lived after he begot Enos 807 years, and begot sons and daughters. Verse 8. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died.
Okay, and you notice how the lifespan is a lot longer. Okay, the lifespan was a lot longer. All right.
Verse 9. And Enos lived 90 years, and begot Canaan.
You notice a lot of these people are having geriatrics type of, like geriatrics. Well, I don't know if that would be considered geriatrics at that time, but they're definitely older. You know, people, they're having children in their 90s. It's pretty cool. All right. Shows how the bodies work.
Verse 10. And Enos lived after he begot Canaan 850 years, and begot sons and daughters. Verse 11. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died.
Now that's the name of Canaan. That's just the name. But I mean, there's the land of Canaan. That's where a lot of them, yes, they were. Now I don't know who the land of Canaan was named after. You know, because a lot of lands were named after people when they went out and spread out. So that could be something. Come.
Verse 11. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. Verse 12. And Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalaleel. Verse 13. And Canaan lived after he begot Mahalaleel 840 years and begot sons and daughters.
Excellent. And if y'all get a chance to look up some of these Hebrew names, they all have meanings to them, especially in the writings. Sometimes they even make the names themselves will, bring about something. You'll look at it. All right?
800-something years and got kids, and 800-something.
Now that I don't know. It just says after they begot a son, it says they lived another 800 years, but it says they begot sons and daughters. So probably, I would think within that time span, after they begot the one, then they begot even more. After they begot the one, maybe like the firstborn or the third.
If we had known you were younger, that the names were significant because it probably would prove what kind of life that you lived.
Absolutely.
That's why it was absolutely necessary to name your child something that is going to be fruitful. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I made a mistake and named one of my children Christmas. I didn't know that Christmas in Russia.
Come.
Those things, you need to really be careful with young people. Need to really study the names on the gift.
Come. Absolutely. Absolutely. Excellent point. All right. We're on, that was a really good point. We're on Genesis 5, and we're going to be reading 14 through 20 in the Hebrew. Genesis 5, verse 14 in the Hebrew. Waha awaya haya wayahayawa call yumya koya nun aishar shunyam with a shy ma'awat shana waya ma. Verse 15. Wayahya mahala Allah kozmash shunyam washashayam shana waya walad af yarad. Verse 16. Wayahya mahalal Allah acharya wala hawala yadwa af yarad shalashim shana washamna ma'awaf shana waya walad bunyam waba nawaf. Verse 17. Verse 17. Wayahayawa call yumya mahala la Allah kamash with a shayim shana washamana ma'awaf shana wayamaf. Verse 18. Wayahya yarad shahyam washashayam shana wama'af shana wayawalad af kana wak. Verse 19. Wayahya yarad acharya wahala hawala yadwa af kana wak shamana ma'awaf shana wayawalad bunyam waba nawaf. Verse 20. Wayahayawa call yumya yarad shafyam washashayam shana with a shy wa'awaf shana wayamaf. And that's it. Okay, we're going to be reading Genesis 5, 14 through 20. We're going to read that now in the English.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 14. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Verse 15. How you pronounce that again? Mahalaleel.
Mahalaleel.
Verse 15. And Mahalaleel lived 65 years and begot Jared. Verse 16. Mahalaleel lived after he begot Jared 830 years and begot sons and daughters. Verse 17. And all the days of Mahalaleel were 895 years, and he died. Verse 18. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begot Enoch. And verse 19. And Jared lived after he begot Enoch 800 years, and begot sons and daughters. Verse 20. And all the days of Jared was 962 years, and he died.
And you got to think too of like no processed foods. That's just not good. It's kind of I mean, before the flood, most I said I would give him 120 years. That was right. I believe that was right before the flood. But then after the flood, you had people that lived long. You had Moses lived 120. I think Isaac lived like 106. Isaac lived a long time. But still, I mean, the time. I mean, the time was short, but it wasn't. It wasn't necessarily just 70 years. I mean, it wasn't necessarily because you had people that lived, longer than 70. But you live by 70, by 80 in strength. But I don't think that's like more like everybody's going to live more per se 70 years. I mean, I think that might have been like I don't know. I can't say maybe an average or like roughly. But I know after the flood, you had people. I think Isaac lived like 160. His name Jacob lived over 100 something. I think Anna was like 90 something. Now David lived exactly 70. So David lived exactly 70 years. I think it probably just depended, but the time did decrease right before the flood, and then right after. It did seem the time spans here obviously were longer. That's a good point. All right, we're in Genesis. What are we in Genesis 5?
Genesis chapter 5, verse 20.
Genesis chapter 5, we're reading 21 through 27. Genesis chapter 5, verse 21. Wayakya, kana wak, kamash, washashayam, shana, waya wala, matha washalak. Verse 22. Waya fahalak, kana wak, ha'alahayim, akarya, hawala yadwa, matha washalak, shalash, ma'awat, shana, waya walad, bunyam, waba nawaf. Verse 23. Wayahaya, call, yumya, kana wak, kamash, washashayam, shana, washalash, ma'awat, shana. Verse 24. Wayafahalak, kana wak, ha'alahayam, wahayanat nawa, kaya, lakwak, afla, alahayam. Verse 25. Wayakya, matha washalak, shabai, washamanyam, shana, wama'af, shana, wayawalad, lamak. Verse 26. Wayakya, matha washalak, akarya, hawala yadwa, lamak, shafya, washamawanyam, shana, washabai, ma'awaf, shana, wayawalad, bunyam, waba nawaf. Verse 27. Wayahayawa, call, yumya, matha washalak, tashai, washashayam, shana, watha shai, wama'awaf, shana, wayamaf. And that's it. All right, we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 5, 21 through 27 in the English.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 21. And Enoch lived 65 years and begot the water. Methuselah, verse 22. And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years and begot sons and daughters. Verse 23. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Verse 24. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God, Salaki. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him.
All right, so I do want to address this because the Christian church always talks about this. Okay, it says that Enoch walked with God and was not, for the power the Most High took him. All right, the Christian church will say that Enoch went off into heaven and he's there waiting. Okay, I learned that when I was growing up. They said Enoch and Elijah went to heaven and they're waiting and they'll come back and be the two witnesses. Let's address this real quick because I know most of us probably do know, some probably don't. Okay, Enoch died. First of all, so Enoch did not go to heaven. Precept, anybody know the precept? Yahweh shall say. Go ahead. That's actually a good precept. That's actually, that's a good precept. It's another one I'm thinking of. That Enoch did not go to heaven. Yahweh shall said it. Go ahead and pull it. John 3:13. That was actually a good one, though. So I can say that one again, though? It's one and once for man to die, and then afterwards, that's in Hebrews. That's not the one I was thinking of. That's a good one. John 3:13. Let's just dismantle this Christian theory, because like I said, I grew up learning this. In the church, they would say it. Okay, John 3:13. Go ahead. Yahweh shall say it.
John chapter 3, verse 13. And no man hath ascended up to heaven.
And no man has ascended up to heaven. Okay, we're going to address that. He said no man. That's including Enoch. Okay, no man has ascended up to heaven. Okay, so some people say Enoch's waiting in heaven, and they said he'll come back. The Christian church says he'll be one of the two witnesses. That is this man. No man has ascended to heaven. So, what is it talking about here when it's saying, read Genesis 4, verse 24 again?
Come on, Genesis chapter 4, chapter 5, verse 24. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him.
Okay, so he was not. It means he was not found. They didn't know where Enoch went. Now, let's go to a precept to find out, where Enoch, what happened. Go to Hebrews 11, verse 5. Okay, we're just trying to, get a little bit more context of what's going on with Enoch so that when the Christian, church tells you that Enoch's in heaven, you can pretty much pull these precepts and let them know Enoch can go to heaven. Okay? We got Hebrews 11, verse 5. Go ahead.
Come on. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5.
Go ahead.
By faith, Enoch was translated.
Okay, stop right there. Translated. If you look up that word translated, that could mean transported. Now, somebody tell me, actually keep reading. So we say Enoch was translated or transported. Go ahead.
That he should not see death.
So he should not see death. Now, what does that mean? Can somebody tell me another part of the Bible where somebody was transported so that they would not see death? Come on, I know you know. Elijah. How was Elijah transported? Okay, what took him up though? The chariots moved him. The chariots moved him. And the chariots moved somebody else in the New Testament. Who was it? Come on. Somebody got moved there. Anybody remember? It was Thomas. Thomas was transported. And the spirits took him up. He was at one place, took him to other. And we've talked about how the chariots will take us. So Enoch was transported so that he would not die in whatever situation. I'm not reading into the text. I don't know what was going on. But we can take the example of Elijah, because who was trying to kill Elijah? Who was trying to kill him? Well, it was Abel, but really it was his wife. Jezebel was trying to kill him, so the Most High transported Elijah so he wouldn't see death. Took him somewhere else. Okay? So he was just transported so that he would not die in that cause. But there is a precept to show that that Enoch died. We're going to see that in a second. Keep reading though. What does it say?
And he was not found.
Okay, they couldn't find him because the Most High had taken him. Go ahead.
Because God had translated him.
Transported him. Go ahead.
For before his translation,
before he was transported, go ahead.
He had his testimony.
Go ahead.
That he pleased God. Verse 6.
Okay, now this is the faith chapter. Okay, your Christian pastors don't always quote this chapter. Now the faith chapter names all the people who had faith. It doesn't name, all right. I don't think everybody's familiar with this chapter. Okay, it goes to Abraham. It talks about all these people. Now look what it says in Hebrews 11 verse 13. This is going to prove to you. This is the same chapter talking about Enoch. Hebrews 11 verse 13. What does it say about all these men of faith? I think it's Hebrews 11, 13. It says this. It shows that Enoch has died. Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 13. These all died in faith.
These all what?
These all died in faith.
These all died in faith. Okay? So Enoch is not sitting up, or and like I said, Most High could have put him back in the earth, but I'm just saying, Enoch's not chilling up in heaven with Elijah, chilling there, waiting to be one of the two witnesses. Okay? Enoch was transported, died, and whether the Lord's will to put him back in the earth, that's on the, that's up to the Lord. But just showing you that, he wasn't waiting up in heaven, waiting to be called back down. Be one of the two witnesses. That is a Christian belief, and that is definitely not correct. All right? Okay, let's go back to Genesis. Okay, and we're in Genesis, we were in verse 24, so it said, for the Most High took him. Okay, verse 25.
Verse 25. You said Methuselah. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech. Verse 26. He's right there. Verse 26. Okay, verse 26. And Methuselah lived after he begot Lamech 782 years and begot sons and daughters. Verse 27. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died.
This is the longest recorded life in the scriptures. Methuselah was 969. Almost made a whole millennium. It's a long time. I don't know what you could do in that time, but if I'm living that long, I'm going to be the champ in everything. Because I'm going to try every career, and I'm going to be the best football, basketball, I'm going to be the best doctor, lawyer, teacher, actor, because I got so much time to but this is the longest recorded life in the scriptures. Methuselah, he lived 969. Right until the flood. I think his name means. His name is a significance to his name. I can't remember in Hebrew, but Methuselah has a significant name. I think connected to that, but I can't remember. Methuselah's name in Hebrew. I have to look at my notes, but his name is his name. He died like right before, and his name kind of means that, something like that. Like when it comes, he was something. I don't want to, but it's in my notes. But that's a good point. 969 years. He was living a long time. It's a long time. 969. All right. Methuselah. Okay, we already read that. All right. Let's go ahead and we're reading Genesis 5:28 through 32, and then 6:1 through 2. Right. Genesis 5:28 in the Hebrew. Wayakia, Lamach, Shaphiam, Shamunyam, Shana, Amath, Shana, Wayawalad, Bun. Verse 29, Wayakara, Af, Shamwa, Nak, La'amar, Za, Yana Kumnawa, Mama Aishanawa, Wama Aitazabwan, Yadyanawa, Man, Ma'adama, Ashar, Arara, Yahweh. Verse 30. Yahya, Lamach, Karya, Hawala Yadwa, Af, Nak, Kamash, Shayam, Shana, Wakamash, Ma'ah, Shana, waya walad, bunyam, wabanawaf, waya haya. Verse 31. Waya haya, call, yumya, lamak, shabai, washabayim, shana, washabai, ma'awaf, shana, waya maf. Verse 32. Waya hayo, waya haywa, nak, bun, kamash, ma'awaf, shana, waya walad, nak, af, sham, af, chum, wa'af, yapaf. The book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 1 of the Hebrew. Wayahaya, Kaya, Hakal, Ha'adam, Larab, Al, Punya, Ha'adama, Waba Nawaf, Yaladwa, Laham. Verse 2. Wayara'awa, Bunya, Ha'alahayim, Af, Banawaf, Ha'adam, Kaya, Tabath, Hana, Wayakakwa, Laham, Nashiam, Makal, Ashar, Makarwa. And that's it. Okay, we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 5, 28 through 32. And then we're going to jump over to chapter 6, 1 through 2. All right?
Genesis chapter 5, verse 28. And Lamech lived 182 years and begot a son. Verse 29. And he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which Lord hath cursed. Verse 30. And Lamech lived after he begot Noah 595 years, and begot sons and daughters. Verse 31. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. Verse 32. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right, and we know the story about Shem, Ham, and Japheth. What descendants come from them, and we'll get into more to that as we go. Go ahead, chapter 6.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them.
All right, we need to really pay attention to this, because this is another Christian belief, or some beliefs that we got to tackle, because you're going to hear this, and you got to know the precepts. Keep going. Verse 2.
Verse 2. That sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
Okay, you're going to hear this argument too. When they're saying the sons of God, and I'm going to tell you where this really comes from, they're saying that the sons of God are the angels that were fallen, that came to the earth and slept with the women and created giants. We created the giant Nephilim, which means the fallen one, and you had angel men, angel human children. That comes from a Greek idea. The Greeks, that comes from Greek thinking, because in Greek culture, what did the gods always do? And they came down. You know, Zeus slept with every woman. Zeus slept with every. I know we got children here, but they're too young. Okay, Zeus slept with every woman. He'd come down. The gods would always come down, mate, and have these demigods. That is not scriptural, and we're going to prove it. When it says the sons of God, that's why we went back to the beginning. It's making a distinction between the two seeds. One seed was supposed to be the sons of God, and the other seed was supposed to be the seed of the serpent, the sons of men, that were not, and they weren't supposed to what? They weren't supposed to mix, because every time the children of Israel or the sons of God mixed with the nations, what would they do? They would fall. Okay? Now, we're going to break this down a little bit, where it says sons of God. Let's pull some precepts to prove that it's talking about men. Go to Romans 8:14. So that when you get in an argument with the person that's saying, these are angel men, Minotaur, Centaur, that stuff comes from Greek thinking. That's why Hercules was a god man. Zeus came down, slept with Hercules' mother, and that's how Hercules was born. That's all comes from Greek mythology. And because we have mixed with the other nations. We started adding this to thinking that that's part of the Bible. Okay? We're in Romans?
Come.
Romans 8, verse 14. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 8, verse 14.
Go ahead.
For as many as are led by the Spirit of God.
And John Muhammad always quotes this. Go ahead.
They are the sons of God.
They are what?
Sons of God.
They are the sons of God. Those that are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. Read all the way to 19. I think it says some more. Keep going.
Come on. Verse 15. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. Verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
Children of God. Okay, he's going all the way through. Keep going.
Verse 17. And if children, then hearers of God, the joint Salaki. And if children, then heirs of God, the joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together.
Read, jump to 19. Is that it? I think go to 19.
Okay. Verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God.
What?
The sons of God.
This is proof. It's not talking about it's not talking about angels here. It's talking about people, sons of God here. Okay, and let me see. Go to Khan. Khan. In this context, Khan, sons of God. I mean, we're talking about the line. So and we go in the beginning of Genesis. This is before the sons of God were called Israel. Remember, the Most High made a distinction between two seeds. He told the woman, the serpent, I will put enmity between two seeds. The seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. You saw this first with Cain and Abel, because there was enmity between Cain. Cain, you showed, was of the wicked one. That's why Yahweh told the Pharisees, you are your father, the devil. Abel was righteous. And then it showed Cain's line. Then it showed Abel. Well, Abel died, so he was replaced by Seth. And it showed the line coming from Seth. It was showing two different seeds. Well, this goes all the way down, and then we get to, finally, Jacob and Esau. Two different seeds. Come out the same womb, though. Two different seeds. And then that's, the sons of God, Israel, and, descendants of Esau or whatever. So it's all through. So it even starts in Genesis, making a distinction. Let's go to Matthew 5:9. Let's go to another one. We're just proving this because, you'll get into a conversation and somebody will say that these are, these angels transformed and, put their seed into a woman, okay? And it's not biblical. Matthew 5, verse 9, go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5. Oh, you said chapter 5. Mm-hmm. Chapter 5, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
The children, or it could be called the sons of God. Blessed are the peacemakers. They're the children, the sons of God. Go ahead. Come, sir.
Nowhere recorded is the angel coming to earth sleeping with a man.
Not that I.
That's just a made up thing like French white.
That comes from Greek thinking, Greek mythology. Because in Greek mythology, that's what they would do.
So when they hit that, when they see that, you have to show them what that's the Bible.
Come. Well, they'll say, the sons of God. They're going to say that they're going to say that the spirit angels that came down. But it's like the sons of God, in many contexts, refers to the children of Israel, or was it children of Israel or the sons of Israel? You could maybe look in Hebrews. Maybe it depends on the context. I think Hebrews and maybe possibly Job. Possibly. Sons of, and possibly Job. I'd have to check with Cap about that one. But in context, if you're looking at the context of Genesis,
When it's talking about sons of God, it's talking about men, the seed of somebody. It's talking about literal seed. Come, because you're going to hear that. You're going to hear that. But when you hear the Genesis, cut them, take them back to Genesis, and talk about the two seeds. That will and talk about Seth's seed, and then the seed. And the seed. That's how you can cut them, because you're going back. And then you can show the sons of God in many contexts, like the ones we're pulling, goes to talking about men. Another one you can pull. Go to Hosea 1:10. Hosea, it's somewhere. Yeah, you go to Hosea 1:10. There's another one. This is stuff you can just pull to show that it's talking a lot of times about Israel. A lot of times you talk, you can, because you got to look. A lot of times you got to read context of what it's referring to. Hosea, I think, is in the Old. It's in the Old Testament. Is it after Daniel? I think Hosea is somewhere after Daniel. Or is that? Go to like what the prophets are, like Jeremiah, otherwise, like in the prophets. But yeah, you could just pull this, go to.
Not really.
Keep going, like skip a lot. Yeah, Job. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. You were in the right spot. Keep going. Other way. Yeah. There you go. Let's go to Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. This is another one you can pull. This is talking about when the Most High is going to return Israel back to the northern kingdom. Let's talk about the northern kingdom of Israel in context. Go ahead. Hosea 1, verse 10.
Hosea chapter 1, verse 10.
Go ahead.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
Okay.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said to them, Ye are the sons of the living God.
You are the sons. This is another proof that you can pull. Hosea 1:10. So, like I said, in context, a lot of times it's talking about sons of God. It's talking about the seed of the seed of the woman, which became eventually Israel. Okay, that's stuff that you can pull. Here's another thing that we'll talk about in the next precept. Okay, so hopefully that answered that. So now let's go ahead and read. We did read. Let's go ahead and read the last one for today, and we'll talk about that one. Let's go ahead and read Genesis 6, 3 through 9. Come. The seed of the woman. Come. Say it again. What is that word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Yes, because it's coming. It's a metaphor. Think about this. The best metaphor I can say is Israel's a woman. Israel in the scriptures, the allegory, the metaphor is a woman. Okay, but from the woman, men, everybody comes out of the woman. So that's the metaphor. Just think of it as the metaphor. When it's saying, it's making a difference because it's different between the two seeds. It's just saying the seed of the woman, the seed of the serpent. It's like the righteous will come out of there, and then the unrighteous will see the serpent. Okay, that's all it is. It's just metaphorical. Come.
Like saying, a woman's child, once the seed is planted in her, it's that seed too, right?
Well, once the seed is planted in her, then she has the baby, and then it could be a male, and then he's just going to keep going and going and going. I mean, so the seed comes from the man. Yeah.
Once it's put in her, it's that seed two seeds.
Well, they unite. Yeah, you can look at it like con. So you can look at it like that. Con. They make one, and they make the embryo, the zygote first, right? Then the embryo. See, look. I was the best at health as a kid. Con. Good point, though. But yeah, so that's all it is. It's just metaphorical. Just like how Israel, like the Most High tells Israel, "You were my wife. I was your husband to you." That's metaphor. It's a metaphor. Okay, and we come out of Israel, the woman. Here's a precept. Pull it. Go to Revelation 12. I'll pull a precept just to show you the how you can look at it. Go to Revelation 12. Here's a pretty good question too, and I'll pull it.
Revelation 12, man.
Verse 1. We're gonna read this. This is like a precept that you can think of.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
So he's seeing a woman crowned with 12 stars. Now, why does she have 12 stars? Who is this symbolizing? Right, this is Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 2, and she being with child cried.
Okay, she's in labor. Okay, she's crying, she's in labor. Go ahead.
Travailing in birth.
Okay, she's about to give birth. Okay, but now, is this literal? This is, I mean, John is seeing this, but this is, what is the word I'm thinking of? I'm thinking it's symbolism. This is symbolism. He's seeing this, but it's symbolism, because you know that the woman symbolizes Israel. Go ahead.
And pain to be delivered.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon.
Okay, serpent right there too, just like we said. 2 seeds right here. So you can see the 2 seeds right here. It's in Revelation. Go ahead.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
Go ahead.
Verse 4, and his tail drew the 3rd part of the star of heaven.
Okay.
And did cast them to the earth.
Go ahead.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
And that's to show how the violence that Israel has seen from who? Esau. Violent. Esau, the scripture talks about your violence against your brother. This is all symbolic, but it represents something. Go ahead.
Verse 5, and she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule over the nations with a rod of iron.
Okay, so this is showing. She brought forth the male child. Okay, all right. So this connects back to Genesis. So that's a precept to it. You know. All right. Any other questions? All right. Let's go to Genesis 6. We got one more to read. Genesis 6, and we're reading 3 through 9. Genesis 6, verse 3 in the Hebrew. Wayamar Yahweh La'ah Yadawan Rakayah Ba'adam Alam Bashadam Hawa'ah Bashar Wayahayawa Yamyawa Ma'ah Ba'isharyam Shana, verse 4. Hanapolium Hayawa Ba'arataza Ba'yamyam Haham Wagum Akar Khan, Ashar, Yaba'awa, Bunya, Ha'alahayim, All, Banawaf, Ha'adam, Wayaladwa, Laham, Hama, Ha'gabarium, Ashar, Ma'aywalam, Hanashia, Hasham, verse 5, Wayara, Yahweh, Kaya, Rabah, Ra'if, Ha'adam, Ha'aratasa, Wakal, Yatazar, Maka Shabbat, Labwa, Rakwa, Rai, Kal, Hayawam, verse 6. Waya Nakam, Yahweh, Kaya, Asha, Ha'adam, Ba'arataza, Wayafa Aitaza Ab, Al, Labwa, verse 7. Wayamar, Yahweh, Amacha, Ha'adam, Ashar, Bara'afya, Ma'al, Punya, Ha'adama, Ma'adam, Bahama, Ramash, Wa, Hashamyam, Kaya, Nakamafya, Kaya, Aisha Yatam, verse 8. Wanak, Mataza, Khan, Ba'ayanyam, Yahweh. Allah, verse 9. Allah, Fawala Daf, Nak, Ayash, Tazadyak, Tazadayak, Famayam, Haya, Badarafyawa, Halahayam, Hafahalad, Nak. And that's it. All right, we're going to be reading the last scriptures for today. It's Genesis 6, 3 through 9 in the English.
Genesis 6. Come. Verse 9. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years.
We're going to talk
Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them.
Come. Absolutely. The water. I was going to bring that. The water serpent bring that out. It's giants. It's not talking about, right? James and the giant, whatever. Or the Jolly Green Giant. It's talking about giants like Jeff Bezos. Right, men of renown that were big on that were famous. Mark Zuckerberg. These are people that are just well known, men of renown. Right. Well, they say it's really the big giant, the Jolly Green Giants and stuff like that. Right. All right. Good. Bring out, sir. Go ahead.
And they bare children to them. The same.
Verse 4. Verse 4. Go ahead.
And they bare children to them.
I'll start in verse 4. Genesis 6, verse 4.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continuously.
Stop right there. So let's give we're not finished yet, but let's give a precept to this. So what was happening is the same thing that's always happened with Israel. Right. What does Israel always do? The Most High gives them a direction about not mingling with other nations, and then what does Israel always do? And they always mix and mingle. Let's give a precept. Go to Deuteronomy 7. And this is why there was so much wickedness, because when they started mixing and having children, it started to get, they were starting to do a lot of idol worship, idolatry. Let's go to Deuteronomy. The Most High talks about this, what he was telling Israel. It's like Deuteronomy 7, we'll read 1 through 6. Deuteronomy 7, 1 through 6. This is a command and the Most High told Israel why they should do it. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Gershites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
You're not supposed to make any covenant with them. Eat treaties, eat with them, sit down and make peace with them. Go ahead. Babies, go ahead.
Nor shew mercy unto them.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Do not make marriages with them. And Yahweh shall address this of what was going on in the time of Noah. Go ahead.
Thine daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons.
Okay.
Nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thine son. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Go ahead, say that again.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
When the sons of God went into the daughters of men, that's why there was wickedness, because they started turning away from what the Most High said. Keep going.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled.
That's why the Most High was angry at this time, because they started turning away. Go ahead. Go to verse all the way through verse 6.
Come on. Against you and destroy thee suddenly. Verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thine God.
Same principle. You're a separate people. The line was supposed to be separate from the sons of men. The sons of God were supposed to keep themselves separate. And that's it. Now, what was going on at the time of Moses? Not the time of Noah. Yahweh addressed it. Go to Matthew. We're just getting some precepts. You're closer to Numbers. Go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 25. You're closer to Numbers. We're just seeing what happens when the Most High's people start mixing with the other nations. This is what they start to do. Go to Numbers 25 and we'll read verses 1 through 2.
Numbers chapter 25, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
No, they're going, they saw the women, the sons of God, sons of Israel, see the women, go ahead, other nations.
Verse 2. And they called the people unto the sacrifice of their gods. And the people did eat and bowed down to their gods.
Okay, they start to eat, drink, and sacrifice to their gods. It happens throughout the scriptures. The sons of God, sons of Israel, will see the women of the other nations and will go after, and you see that today. Right. Ain't nothing different. When you want to get a certain status, you see, you see somebody else and you feel like, I'm in. Once I marry his daughter, right. I'm in. Go ahead, Constance. Come.
That's all we need.
Come.
Nobody knew the truth, so that's why we picked a white girl or Chinese or Arab,
Come. And a lot of times we think that's going to make us have a better status. Like I go in and, now I made it.
That's when it's rich, bro. When you the hood, you
Come. Well, that's a good point. Well, I guess when you're an athlete, you're like you try to get you end with the family. Right. All right. A couple more precepts I just want to pull. It just shows. What does Yahweh say? Go to Matthew 24:38. All right. I'm just pulling this to just show you what was really going on in the time of Noah, so we just know Yahweh even brings it up of what they were doing. Because a lot of times, what would happen when they would go to a foreign woman, they would sacrifice to their gods, and they would drink and party and be married. Okay.
You would never think Solomon would be caught up like that. He was
Caught up with that too. Same problem. All right. Matthew 24 verse 38. We got it. Come on. Go ahead and read it.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 28.
38.
Salaki.
All right, same thing. And Yahweh is going to say what was going on, because he's saying at the end times, like the days of Noah. Go ahead.
Verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
They were eating, drinking, marriage, giving in marriage. And who were they eating and drinking to? Other gods. Matthew 24, verse 38. They were eating and drinking and given into marriage. They were eating, drinking, Matthew 24, verse 38. Eating, drinking, and given into marriages. So they were eating, drinking, because a lot of times you got to think historically. People would eat to and drink, sacrifice to another god, have a party, and a lot of times they would have an orgy because they would sleep with the oracle woman. Because a lot of times the woman of another nation would be the oracle. And so you would go to her and say, well, what's my future? She's like a fortune teller. And she would tell them the future. Well, the gods are saying this. Or, she'd go into some seance. And after that, they would have an orgy. And that's what Israel was doing. Okay? Going into eat, drinking, and marrying into women, sleeping with the women of other nations, sacrificing their gods. One more precept, just for time's sake, I'll pull it. One more precept. What happened when Moses went up on the mountain? What did the children of Israel start doing? Anybody remember that? They started drinking, being merry. I'm going to pull that real quick due to time. Exodus 32, 1 through 8. I'm going to read that real quick. Exodus 32, verse 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mountain, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as this Moses, this man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we want not what has happened to him. Verse 2. And Aaron said to them, Break off the golden earrings which are in your ears of your wives, your sons and daughters, and bring them to me. Verse 3. And all the people broke off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron. And received, verse 4. And he received them at their hand, and it fashioned it with a graving tool. And after he made it a molten calf, and they said, These be the gods of Israel which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is the feast of the Lord. Verse 6. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. And the people sat down to do what? To eat and to drink, and rose up to play. Same type of. And the Most High said to Moses, Go get thee down, for thy people, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, have been corrupting themselves. Verse 8. And they turned quickly aside from which the way I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf and worship it, and have sacrificed unto it, and said, These be the gods of Israel, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Same type of spirit. All right? Let's go back to Genesis. We were in Genesis 6. I think we were ended off in verse 5. Go ahead and let's read 6 through 9.
Verse 6 through 9?
Yep. 6.
Chapter 6?
Yeah, chapter 6, verse 6.
Come on. Genesis chapter 6, verse 6. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and he grieved him at his heart. Verse 7. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. Verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God.
Okay, so as the Most High is thinking about, like I said, the Lord's anger will be kindled when you do this. He said he was going to destroy him. He saw Noah. He saw somebody righteous that was actually following what he said to do. We'll stop. We'll end there, and we'll pick that up next time to find out. We already know the story, but we'll go into detail about that. All right. Any other questions? All right. Just the people up here. People up here. I money. Let me see. Okay. Go ahead. Hold on, let me get some. All right.
La Yashala.
Let me see. Is this we're supposed to salute it? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
What have you? Men of Israel, gird up your loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Yahweh Bashim Yashab Rakya. So it's my turn again. Slacking. Try it again now. That's it.
Yeah.
Y'all Bashim Yahweh Shah Brakiyah.
Almost dropped it. Okay, go ahead and blow the horn again. I'm good with that. All right. We just gonna do the Lord's Prayer. You can get everybody on body.
Amadiam Wapenya Hakwadam, which means rise and face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer, first in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malak Wafka. Laba'ah. Retazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Nathan. Salaki. Latan Lanawa. Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalak Lanawa. Kabawak Yanawa. Kasalak Nawa. Kabawak Yanawa. Wala'ah. Daba Ya'aya Nawa. Banasaya Wan. A ball. Hawashaya Nawa. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Kamalakwa. Waha'ala. Sala'i. Wahata. Say it again. Waha'ala. Wahata Pa'ara. La'awalamyam. Aman.
And in the English, our Father,
Which
art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us. From evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Sorry, which means to turn. Let me make sure. I think I did this wrong last time. This concludes the service. Sisters, you're shopping.
Men of Israel, we're going to get a teacher one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadiam Shabbat, Amadiam, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Barakathah.
Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Barakathah.
Yazimatat, Saw, which means turn. Sisters, Amadiam. Men of Israel, we're going to get the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadiam Shabbat, Amadiam, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Alatham Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Yayimatat, class dismissed.
Good. Down, sir. Would you mind killing that, sir? Cons, go out, sir.